And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
We're talking Giants every day. From McCovey Cove to the Oracle Park lights, Eric and Glenn keep the fire burning bright, fighting for the glory, no matter what it costs us, breaking down the moments from the wins to the losses. Giant Sports Talk, we're here for the ride. Eric and Glenn with the fan base pride, talking dreams, will they contend? But we'll back the Giants till the very end. Let's go, Giants! Yes, yes, yes! Oh! Eric and Glenn breaking it down, all Giants all the time.
All right, welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live here for the postgame of Game 2, Giants-Phillies. Didn't go our way. Glenn Verlander, we'll talk about it a little bit later because, guys, we're going a little bit early today because we got a special guest. We'll bring him on here shortly. But Verlander, man, I think he went out there an inning too long. He should have been done after the fifth. But Melvin, this is one of the, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I think this is one of Bob Melvin's first faux pas, I think, of the year. He should have yanked him. Should have gone to the bullpen in the sixth. But the Giants, look, they fought all the way through.
Yeah, I thought this was his second mistake. I was a little leery of what he was doing with the bases loaded there on the weekend. But yeah, Eric, Justin Verlander's ERA, Eric, is up to 7.13, and he's given up hits, man. He's just given up base knocks. He gave up 8 tonight, gave up the 4 runs. Dude, you know what I think about Justin Verlander? How many people were on me preseason? Can't sign a 35-year-old Sagano, my God. And then we get a 42-year-old.
Wow.
They're all, the greatest thing ever.
He was
So,
good.
Listen,
He was good for 5.
I've said that the pitching was going to be an issue. I still say in the long run, guys are all over me in the chat last night, the night before. I think things are going to balance out, Eric. I think it's going to balance out. We lost a tough one tonight, but their pitching was good. I mean, pitching.
Both think about it. I mean, Verlander was good through 5. He was fantastic. Only 2 runs. I would have taken that all day long, but we'll talk about that more. Guys, let's get into our special guest. For those of you who follow fantasy baseball, those of you know who about Fantasy Pros, we got Chris Welsh that's going to be joining us. So let's go ahead and let's bring him in.
And now, another special guest appearance on Giant Sports Talk Live.
What is up, Chris? Hey, thanks for joining, man. We appreciate you, spending a few minutes with us today.
Gentlemen, glad to be here. Eric, as I was telling you off air, I'm a Bay Area native, not anymore. Live in Arizona, but Bay Area native. Grew up on the Giants and A's, so it's appropriate to be doing this. But out here in Arizona, the big plus is I've got a bunch of the teams, and we've got the rookie ball, extended spring training, and I get to see a lot of prospects. So not just fantasy, I also do a lot of prospects. But I know we'll talk about it. Glad to be here, guys.
Awesome. Hey, I heard that you were out there taking a look at a guy we've been talking a lot about, especially being, Giants content. We love our Giants. Bryce Eldridge, he's our future. We need to see this guy in a San Francisco Giants uniform. You saw him today. Tell us, what do you think of the guy?
Yeah, so I've seen Bryce Eldridge a ton. I was telling you, since his pro debut, I was at his pro debut a couple years ago when he still was potentially going to be a pitcher. Funny enough, he played in the outfield on that. And I've kind of watched him over the last couple of years. He was just most recently in the Arizona Fall League where he played about 60% of the time, really, really good. He kind of wore out towards the end, and then it's kind of tracked into here. He's been coming back from an injury. I didn't even know he was going to be there today. I was out. The Diamondbacks have a ton of really good young guys, a couple rehabbing players, and Bryce, I believe this was his first game. We're doing extended spring training, so these are not trackable games. They're actually weird games too. They're games that were like, they'll just roll innings. You know, if like a pitcher's thrown too many, they'll just be like, screw it. They don't keep track of the stats or anything like that. But they're using this as a rehab type of thing. And that's what Bryce is doing. He got out to his first game. He ended up telling me that it looks like if all things are good, by about the end of this weekend, he is going to roll out, and then you'll finally get his minor league debut in the season, going to Double-A. But he looked good, really patient. That's something he's been trying to work on over the last year or so. The swing can get a little bit long, a little bit heavy. We saw that in the AFL. Very patient in his first at bat so far, and he was out in the field, I think, which was really key. He was playing first base today, so it's really good to see Bryce, and it sounds like he's ready to get out of here. It's like 95 degrees in Arizona. So he's ready to get on out and get to the season going.
Yeah, and I see they're going to send him to Double-A, and that's probably better, right? He's going to have more competition to face against rather than Triple-A in Sacramento. I know. What was his injury? Was it? Did he actually have like something seriously wrong with the wrist, or was it just sore?
I think it was. I think a lot of these teams are trying to be really careful with it. I think it was sore. Back in the AFL, I think there's a few things that they're worried about with him, or they're really trying to baby, because he wasn't one of those guys that we thought was going to leave. There are a few of these players that it kind of happens with, but he just kind of abruptly left. And I think the team is really in a baby phase with him. And as far as I know, I don't think it was anything massively serious, but good. I think it was something that was, keeping him from being able to get into any main games. And that's why he's out here doing this, because, a decent amount of spring training was taken away from him. So this is an opportunity for him to, come in, get whatever bats they want to do, get whatever missed time. I spoke with, a couple years ago, I spoke with Royce Lewis during the AFL. He's with the Twins now. And I remember Royce actually it was a wrist injury, I think, as well. Yeah. And he had this injury and he missed all of spring training. And then he proceeded to take the whole entire first month of minor league as his spring training. He had a really poor year. And then he goes to the Arizona Fall League. And I kind of asked him about that. I did a really bad job of it. I was like, hey, what's up with that really awful year you had? And, and I felt bad about how I phrased it. And he explained to me, he's like, well, listen, I missed all the spring training. It's really critical. So my spring training, because they didn't ramp me up going into the minor league season, I spent the first month or 6 weeks or so just trying to figure out and ramp myself up. And then then you have adjustments. You got minor league adjustments. So the whole season kind of fell apart for him. So I think a lot of teams are learning from things like that, and they're babying Bryce, and they just want to get him right. And that's why I think he had the caveat as well, where he said, if all things go right, he's going to get on out of here and he'll get to Double-A. And he's a monster. Everybody should be excited about him. He's a freak of an athlete. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". He's 6'7". He towers over you. He's added a decent amount of body mass over the last year and a half. He played against some heavy competition this past AFL, 4 or 5 months ago, that I think really set him in a stage where this team looks and thinks, he could be with the team soon. I think there's some people that are a little bit too optimistic, that think, oh my God, we're going to get Bryce at the major league team really soon. I don't think so. You have to remember, this is a kid that coming out of high school is still transitioning into being a full-time hitter, not a two-way player. He's had some missed time. So if Giants fans are really putting in a big hope that you're going to have a lot of Bryce Eldridge this year at the majors, I just personally don't think so. I do think there's a legitimate shot that we see him at the back half of the year after he's got to Double-A, after they moved him to Triple-A, and maybe I would say August seems like the time that things could click, depending, where the Giants are in a race, and right. In September, they give him a little bit of a look.
So now this might be taking a leap, but because he's very young, but everyone gets a comp. What do you comp him to as far as Bryce Eldridge? He's a big guy. A lot of people are afraid, when you're a 6'7", you're going to have a loopy swing, right? And you're going to be able to get inside on him. But from everything we've seen, we watched footage of him all last year, during the minor leagues, and he rocketed through the minor leagues. What do you think? Where is he at here at being a 6'7" first baseman?
Yeah, it's really tough because these big guys, in doing, I do minor league ranks and I do evaluations. There's another guy in the minor leagues that's kind of similar to him right now with the Yankees named Spencer Jones. And Spencer Jones, 6'7", 240 pounds. People kind of know about him right now because he just did a video. He's bringing in a torpedo bat to try to. They were optimizing his his swing, and they looked and they said the point at where he's making contact, that is where a torpedo bat is going to like help evaluate and push. But my whole point to that is like, there's just not a lot of 6'7" athletic guys. Spencer Jones is actually an interesting comp because he's a massively athletic outfielder for the Yankees. And then the inverse of that comes to one singular player, Aaron Judge. It always comes back to trying to evaluate a player like them to Aaron Judge because of their height. The difference with Eldridge, though, is I think like Eldridge has got kind of like just a bigger approach. I think Aaron Judge, he's optimized that swing, and Eldridge has got a lot more plate coverage. I think he makes a lot better contact than what Spencer Jones does. And I think maybe he moves into that Aaron Judge-y type of area that I think the most important thing. So I'm not really sure what to give you with a comp because like I said, I just don't think there's anybody out there like him. I think he can steal bases. I think he could play the outfield if they wanted to. I don't think he has remotely the same swing issues that a guy like Spencer Jones has. And at the end of the day, I think it's just going to be about reps and turning him into a guy. Like if you're looking and really, evaluating like statistically, you're on Baseball Savant, you're looking at like guys that have high barrel percentages, high hard hit rates. You're looking for that swing to have, like high end above average bat speed and good contact that doesn't have immense strikeout issues. I think Bryce Eldridge is a guy that clicks into that. He just needs more reps. So I think they want to turn him into like a high 80+% zone contact type of player because he's already going to barrel the ball and hit the ball really, really freaking hard. So at the end of the day, all of that equates to is like, what is the comp? I think this is potentially a 30 home run type of hitter that can hit probably 260 above. And from a fantasy baseball perspective, I know that's not what you guys are doing here, but from a fantasy baseball perspective, I have him as a top 15 prospect overall. So again, I would hone in that like real baseball is a little bit different. I don't care about defensive prowess necessarily. I do when it gets you playing time, but I'm looking for the tools. And we're also we're experimenting with upside a little bit more than downside. So in real baseball, a real scout, because I'm not going to claim to be like a scout. I do it in my own thing. A real scout's going to be like, oh, he's kind of a first base only guy. There's a little bit of swing and miss. Those are negatives. If you're not a center fielder or middle infielder, you're automatically going to be downgraded. Every scout just hates a first base only prospect. But from the offensive impact standpoint, Bryce Eldridge can be special. The guy, he turned 20 years old in the AFL. I remember I was there on his birthday, and you're like, oh my God, this guy looks like he's like 30 and he's, a seasoned pro. I really think the sky's the limit for Eldridge, and I am hyper aggressive on him. So 30+ home run, middle of the order type of bat. It's a lofty expectation, but he is the best Giants prospect. I mean, Helio Ramos had a lot of expectations, and he's actually kind of living up to them. I think Eldridge is going to live up to them quite a bit sooner. I guess Marco Luciano has a little bit of a sting too.
Yeah, exactly. Glenn, you got him in. Glenn, he drafted him as an NA for we got a little fantasy league going on here for our channel. But yeah, Glenn, what do you got? What you want to ask Chris?
No, I thought right off the bat we should tell us a little bit about Fantasy Pros and your involvement.
Yeah, so Fantasy Pros is where I've been in this space for a long time. If anyone's been around, not the former pitcher, Chris Welsh from the 70s and 80s, which I have absolutely been confused for. I've done some CBS hits where they've thought I was him, and unfortunately, I'm a little bit younger. But I've been in the fantasy podcast space for quite some time. I host a show, you can see on my hat down here, in this league that then transferred into Prospect One. And I work full-time for Fantasy Pros, where I should do a weekly or a daily fantasy baseball show on YouTube and Twitch, leading off 12 p.m. Eastern. I do every single day. I break down lots of fantasy. I do fantasy football there, but they are nice enough to let me also continue to do a lot of my baseball prospect analysis that I do. So they're just fully supportive. I do a lot of fantasy stuff there that you guys can check out. But again, Prospect One is a good little thing if you want to hear. I talk about Giants prospects all the time. By the way, Maui Ahuna is a shortstop you guys have in the Giants system. He was there today. Rainer Arias is a top international. Yeah, he's still recovering. And you guys have a really interesting guy that I put on my Instagram, Yanni Level, or it's Johnny Level. If you look at him. Yeah, he was a killer in the DSL. He's out here right now, and he'll play in rookie ball. So I cover a lot of that, not just from fantasy, but the main side. But yeah, if you're into fantasy, check out Fantasy Pros. You can catch out the shows I do.
I've caught a few of his shows. I caught a few of his shows, Glenn, before we got ready for the draft. Absolutely.
You threw out the name Luciano. So, what's holding him back?
Man, I got Luciano pretty wrong. So going back there was a year in the Arizona Complex League. So again, Arizona is a weird space. I know everybody, you just think of like major baseball, but here in Arizona, we've got like spring training, and then we got extended spring training, and then we have rookie complex ball. Then we have baseball all year long. So I'm always inundated with these guys. And a couple years back, man, that complex league, Arizona Rookie League, it was Corbin Carroll, Bobby Witt Jr. And guess what? The Giants, CJ Abrams was there. And guess what? The Giants had Luis Matos, Jairo Pomares, and Marco Luciano. They were killers. They were in one of the best complex leagues I've ever seen. They were killers. And guess what? Marco Luciano was one of the most exciting prospects I had seen. Monstrous power. You didn't know where the speed was going to go. He had this big fastball swing approach that you didn't know what that was going to end up doing. But unfortunately, he just regressed. He peaked in the Arizona Complex League. The strikeout rates have been atrocious here. He doesn't make great contact. And I think they need to overhaul. And I don't know if the Giants have taken a stance to overhaul. Look at Kyron Paris. If you guys watch the Angels right now, Kyron Paris was like a nothing burger in the minors. You didn't see really good contact skills. He just didn't do a whole bunch. And a lot of people are citing that now against him. But what did he do in the offseason? If you guys had heard, he went and spent time with Aaron Judge's hitting coach, and they completely reworked his swing. So now what's happening? He's barreling. He's hitting the ball hard. He's getting to the ball better. That's a thing that a lot of people have picked on about Rafael Devers. Not only is Rafael Devers slower right now in his swing, he's slower to the ball. Mark DeRosa did this awesome breakdown on MLB Network where he showed how much slower, like a couple ticks slower, Devers just is to the bat path, and it's killing him right now. So the same thing to be said about reworking a swing with tools is something I would love to see Marco Luciano do. And I just don't know if they sat him down, and if they, like I talked, Spencer Jones is out there looking at his bat path and using a torpedo bat. Have they looked at this stuff? Because he has monstrous power, but he does not have the contact skills. He also does not have the eye. He hasn't picked up secondary stuff. So what does he need to do? He needs to rework the swing. He needs to probably stop trying to have that I destroy baseballs approach, and he needs to, I would really just break it all down and get back to just being a line drive contact hitter and let the rest come to you. But I'm not optimistic about him. I like Luis Matos. I love Helio Ramos. Unfortunately, Luciano is kind of the lost cog in all of those top prospects for the Giants.
He is, and that's something we've been talking about here on the show. I mean, there's been a few shows out there, we're kind of faulting the previous regime because everyone saw that guy wasn't a shortstop. So it's like, maybe that was getting in his head a little bit. Once you lose it in your mind, it's hard to really even come through with the bat, so to speak.
Yeah, and they were playing games. Look, what are we about 17 games into the season or so, Eric?
Somewhere on there, huh?
Where's the roster moves? Last year, it was a daily.
Yeah.
They were on the bus back to AAA. Then they had to turn the bus around and bring them back. And there's no shenanigans like that.
Yeah,
we got our guys.
Farhan was playing MLB.
Prospects.
He was playing fantasy with the MLB club. That's what Farhan was doing. That's what he was doing. That is awesome. But you said you saw Maui. You didn't happen to see our newest guy, De Jesus Gonzalez, I think, right?
No. Yoswar. No, I don't think he's going to be out here yet. A lot of the just recently signed J15 class. Right. Yeah, the international guys, they'll sometimes come out. I mean, sometimes things are different. Like, guys get rocketed up. Ethan Salas was a prime example of a guy that signed, he's in complex, and then all of a sudden he's jumping. Gonzalez, I think, may have been out here for a couple days. We've seen that with some of the Dominican Summer League guys, but then they go back. It is possible that he could potentially come out and play rookie ball. I would expect he's probably someone that doesn't come out they no longer have rookie ball is shortened. Rookie ball actually starts in like 3 weeks, which is crazy. It used to start in June, and then it ends early. And baseball started up this new thing called the Bridge League. And the Bridge League is another league that you don't get to know anything about. You don't get to see stats. You don't get to watch. And unfortunately, it coincides with the draft. So all these new guys that are going to be drafted in July, they're going to go straight to the Bridge League. and you're going to hope that guys like me are out there and you guys can figure out, what's going on with them.
Wow.
I'm saying all that to say that Gonzalez is probably going to be a guy we don't see at least until the Bridge League, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Now, are you able to go watch all these games? Is it no issue? No issues. You could go. Anyone could go out there and watch if they wanted to.
You guys want to come on down? I'll show you where to go. And absolutely, they're free to the public for the most part.
Awesome.
Wow.
Extended spring training. Extended spring training is a little bit weird because there's not easily accessible schedules and stuff like that. But once rookie ball starts, those are sanctioned games. So everybody is welcome. Some teams will go and play in some of the stadiums. A lot of them are on the backfield. So I live on the backfields, and we're talking, you're going behind some places. You got to be comfortable. You're walking into the facility. Sometimes you're walking through gates. You got to know where you're going. But when the games start up, those are fully sanctioned games. You'll have rosters. You can go and check them out. I have seen many a pro debut, from Bobby Witt to CJ Abrams to the last four to Bryce Eldridge. I've seen a lot of these debuts, and it's great. It's a great way to kind of connect, and you can connect with some of these players as well. And you'll also have a lot of rehabbing guys. So as guys get injured, they're going to come down here mainly because the facilities are here, and you'll see some of these guys start before they go to minor league rehab assignments. Prime example, Clayton Kershaw with the Dodgers. He was just throwing a session just the other day at the Dodgers. And then he is going to move out to AAA. So this is like the base hub of international young guys, rehabbing players. It all kind of starts here and then it moves out. So it's like, there might be people that are like, where the hell is Bryce Eldridge? Like, what's going on? Well, here he is.
Well, there he is.
Stats. Luckily, I was there to get some video, and then he's going to jump up to AA probably next week.
What kind of turnout is there? What kind of turnout is there? You say it's just, kind of a free for all. Is there kind of just, the Erics and the Glens and the people like yourself, people who are just wanting to see what those minor leaguers are up to and what we have coming up the pipe? Or is this, is a big turnout? People really involved in watching this?
No, it is.
Really?
It is a weird experience because, again, people don't really know about this stuff. So today was a little bit different. There was a few other people. Ketel Marte with the Diamondbacks is rehabbing. So,
that's right.
People are like, oh, he was around. So there's a few more fans, some guys getting autographs that kind of come in, but it is a majority of just players. So the home team, you'll have whoever's at the complex come out. The Giants send out a bunch of pitchers and they watch it. You'll get some scouts that'll come out, local scouts. I saw a Padres scout that was at this game, Royal scout at the last one I was at. And sometimes there's no fans whatsoever. There's a few guys like me out there in Arizona and photographers. If there's a big player, Lavelle, that would be one that people, got to get a photo of him. And it's funny, a lot of the you see Topps cards and stuff, they'll originate from here, because the first time sometimes you'll see some of these guys is on these complex levels where they're wearing their major league roster. So the turnout is almost nothing. It's a really weird experience. If you ever come out to Arizona, I highly suggest you can call the complexes. You go back there. It's a one-of-a-kind experience where sometimes you just have major leaguers walking around. You have team officials that are walking around, scouts, and they outweigh the fans by a lot.
That's interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to ask you this now. Two pitchers for the Giants. Got Carson Wisenhunt, and we got Harrison down there. I mean, even though he's more of a major leaguer now, but he's kind of been optioned down. Who you hire on? You hire on Harrison or you hire on Wisenhunt?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So Kyle Harrison's stuff in general, I think a little bit more seasoning. I kind of am down with Kyle Harrison being a complete pitcher, but I am in love with Carson Wisenhunt's changeup. It's one of the best changeups I've ever seen. He was in the Arizona Fall League a couple years ago, and two changeups have stood out. There's pitches in my time of just like being out. Again, I've weird conceptualized like Mackenzie Gore, his rookie debut, his curveball has always stood out to me. Hunter Green, when he was throwing 100 when he was a rookie. Two changeups have stood out to me in my time. Ricky Tiedemann with the Blue Jays has a disgusting changeup that he can throw at any point. And Carson Wisenhunt has one of the nastiest changeups that he used in the AFL to an awesome degree. The problem has been the other stuff. His command has been wonky. The slider fastball just kind of lives by the command, and you got to have those to set up that changeup. All of that to say, I think the ceiling for Carson Wisenhunt is really high because, I mean, a lefty with that changeup can do some absolute damage in the majors. It's just going to be about seeing some consistent results out of him. We didn't really see that this year. Looks like so far he's doing all right. He's only walked 1, struck out 14 in 14 innings. He's giving up a lot of hits, but it's like low contact stuff. So I got to say, I'm pretty into Carson Whisenhunt. Harrison is, if I'm talking in fantasy terms, Kyle Harrison's the floor player. Think he's safer, but Carson Whisenhunt to me has the potential in a year or two to be the guy that we're like, wow, look at this big breakup. Kind of like what Mackenzie Gore is doing right now. It's all finally come back with Mackenzie Gore. He's getting strikeouts. He's throwing his slider again. If they can just work that fastball slider combo with a little bit more command, Carson Whisenhunt's going to be nasty.
Nice. I know you got a couple of more minutes. Sure. How about Hayden Birdsong? I know he's up at the big club. I've been high on him since last year. He came up, he had success, then he kind of struggled, but then he finished the year pretty strong. It seemed like he figured something out. I'm high on it. Now today he gave up a home run, but it was wind assisted by, and it was Bryce Harper. He just put it up in the air and the wind just took it because there was a jet stream out to right field. So I like Birdsong.
I was actually shocked that Birdsong wasn't like immediately, that he was more thrust into like a reliever role. But that could be about he's a young kid, and it could be about maintaining innings and stuff like that and what you can get out of his strikeout stuff. But yeah, we've seen almost 26% K percentage, which is nice, even though before this game he hadn't given up an earned run. His expected, if you go and look at that, his expected earned run was still pretty low. I think there's some pretty big stuff out of him. His fastball so far, not counting tonight's game, sitting 96.5 with a 25% whiff percentage. And this is gross. Changeup and curveball, both, which he uses a combined about 25% of the time, over 60% whiff rate. So again, if you're setting up the fastball and he's going changeup and curveball, everybody is swinging through it. There's big swing and miss stuff. Really would like to see him get an opportunity to get some starts.
Hey, Chris, when you see a guy, and Eric and I are in the fantasy. I think Eric's in a couple of leagues. I don't know how you keep track of who you got on what teams, but you get a chance to see it. And we've got what's called NA positions. So like I've got Eldridge.
Sure.
So you pick him up and he's not weighing you down. He's in the closet. What does it take for a guy who's in any minor league system? I'll give you an example. You mentioned Whisenhunt. Well, he could have that one dandy pitch, but he's being held back by that. I drafted a guy named Chandler Simpson. The guy steals 200 bases in 2 years, but he's not on a Tampa Bay Major League roster. Do teams, can you not be a one-trick pony? What do you need? What does it take to make the majors?
Well, there's definitely a multitude of boxes that have got to be checked. And I can't quite speak to it for every organization, but like Whisenhunt, it's all right. You have a major league ready changeup. That's not a question. You can push innings. That's not a question. Mm-hmm. But can you not walk batters? Can you be consistent? You can't live. All these guys know from a pitching standpoint, unless you're a reliever in one inning, you're not going to live off of one pitch. Robert Suarez can live off of his fastball closing for the Padres, but no one else as a starter is going to be able to do that. So what I imagine they're looking for from Whisenhunt is you've got to show consistency on a multitude of pitches and command it and have some innings before we can put you in. On Chandler Simpson's side, I actually think Chandler Simpson is just hurt by they had guys above him. I'm with you on Chandler Simpson. He is the fastest man in the league.
I've never seen a guy well, I don't know how much of you obviously where you're located, you saw a lot of the preseason games. I've never seen a guy who can run out an infield hit like him. Like he hits it to third base and no shot.
Glenn is not.
I've never seen a guy run. To me, he's faster than Ricky.
Glenn's not joking here. You're not joking whatsoever. He is a guy that is a literal ground out to the shortstop, and he is beating that thing out. It's actually, it's kind of Billy Hamilton-esque. If you remember, like in the heyday of Billy Hamilton with the Reds, it's kind of esque to that. But here's the problem. They had these really interesting guys that they like above him in Cameron Meisner, who is going nuts right now. You want to talk about really great underlying hit metrics. Cameron Meisner's got that. And Mangum. Jake Mangum is out there stealing bases. He's doing what Chandler Simpson's had. So what I think they're looking at is they don't have a void right now because they had two guys step up. I think if Mangum was not working right now, you would see Chandler Simpson up. Chandler Simpson is back to stealing bases. He's hitting over 300. He plays insane defense. And I'll tell you, Victor Scott with the Cardinals, I interviewed him during this last Arizona Fall League. and or maybe it was it was the one before that. Phenomenal guy, one of the fastest guys in baseball, and he was talking about how Chandler Simpson is the fastest guy in baseball, and he is they're best friends, and they're both working on the hit tools. They train together. Chandler Simpson is a really good complete package guy that I don't think there's a tool thing that's holding him back more than it is that a few guys that were set above him, they are meeting those expectations. Mangum and Meisner specifically are the only reason. If one of them were to get hurt or fail, I think Chandler Simpson is up, and that is definitely I think that's a really astute one. Wisenhunt's not a guy in an NA spot I'm probably holding, but Chandler Simpson's on my list. I actually do this. I've got a Patreon also, inthisleague.com. It's a Patreon where I do 500 prospects for fantasy. I do a dynasty top 400, but this other thing I do weekly is a top 25 prospects for redraft that you need to be watching. And I update it every single week, and I rank them on who is there and da-da-da. Nick Kurtz, by the way, has been number 1 for 2 weeks. Soderstrom hit 2 more bombs today. Bay Area fans can at least appreciate that, even though, A's. But Nick Kurtz is going to be up within the next week. They have Brent Rooker playing in the outfield twice in the last 3 days. That's great. But Chandler Simpson, he's in my top 7, I think, right now, because his impact on a fantasy perspective is so big. He's one of those guys. So I rank out how I do it. Top 25 redraft prospects. You're on it with Chandler.
Yeah,
Simpson.
I know he's an NA, but leading up to our draft, I didn't know how early to take him. I go, if this guy can do that at the major league level, holy crap!
He would steal 70 bases if he played 160 games. I have almost no doubt if you got a 270 average out of him, I'm telling you right now, he's stealing 70 bases without question. He will be the most aggressive base stealer we've seen since those years of Billy Hamilton. I guarantee it.
That's got to be for anybody in any walk of life. It's got to be tough when you're that good. Another guy, again, that I followed in the preseason was Michael McGreevy. The guy, I thought he was the best Cardinals pitcher, and then there's no room for the guy, and the teams always seem to, we got to go with, and I was involved with hockey for many years, and I saw it. I've talked to Eric about it. The guy who scores 52 goals, he doesn't get the call up because, well, this guy was our first round pick. The stuff I see in the world of sports when you get down to the minor league systems is just crazy, and how a guy who has it and he's got it doesn't get the call.
Yeah, it's a weird process. I wish there was something that was like a formula that just was easy and we could just be like, oh, this to this. It's just not. I mean, Nick Kurtz is the destroyer of worlds right now as far as the minor league goes, but he's blocked. So what was the path? So what do? He's a first base only prospect. He's not like Bryce Eldridge. I do believe if the Giants were in a situation, let's say they were like the A's and they had, first baseman like Tyler Soderstrom, and they had this great DH and whatever. And they were like, what do we do? You have this guy that is not striking out, hitting everything. He's incredible. What do we do? I think you could put Bryce in the outfield because he's done it before. Nick Kurtz can't. Nick Kurtz is a first base DH only prospect. There's nothing else about it. Soderstrom is a first base catcher, but they got Shea Langoliers. What do you do to make this work? So the only cog to fit here is Rooker's got to play the outfield, and he is doing that. So, oh my gosh, we have our answer. This logic is making sense. But then you look at other guys and you're just like, okay, well, the Pirates are putting out like Bailey Falter and Bubba Chandler's out there. Why is he not out there? Chandler Simpson's stealing all these bases. Why is he not? Sometimes we just, I wish there was a really great formula to figure it out, but sometimes it's got to be perfect pieces. And also you get you got like old school managers. Bob Melvin is kind of like that, and Pat Murphy and these guys that it's like, well, I'm not going to let this guy lose his job if he got hurt, and we got to let the veterans do their thing. And it's just like, sometimes that's stupid, and it's just let the young dog eat. And it just doesn't work like that.
There you go. Hey, before I know you got to get out of here, torpedo bats. You like them? Don't like them? I see even Yahoo Fantasy is putting little icons on players who got it. What do you think? You think this is this give an advantage? I mean, what I've been saying is, if you get a regular bat and you get a torpedo bat and you hit them in the barrel, if one is going further than the other only because of the bat, is that performance enhancing? I've heard I had a friend that said he actually swung a torpedo bat, and he says the one thing that he is surprised, it's balanced. He's like, you pick it up and it feels like really good in your hands.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, the bat's fine. It's, you have a 32 ounce or 31 ounce
Yep.
man or 32 ounce bat. And it's just, that's how much wood you have to work with. And
Right.
you're moving it and spacing it. I will say this is just for me. I'm fine with it. Is it gaming the system? Kind of, but baseball's also known about it. That's the thing I don't like about baseball. And I love baseball. Obviously, the baseball's around me. I do it for a living and stuff like that. Like, I love baseball more than anything. But also the things that we love. If you've been married, you might know about this too. Sometimes the things you love most can frustrate you the most. And baseball frustrates me. And one of those frustrations is, among many things, is transparency. They changed the baseballs a couple years. Oh, the seams and stuff. Clearly, they don't tell anybody. They don't acknowledge it. And then this is something that was around last year. We had multiple players said they used it last year. We had Drake Baldwin is the catcher for the Braves right now. He said he used one in the Arizona Fall League. But then guess what? Everyone's making a big to-do about it this year. Why not let us know some more about it so it doesn't feel like gaming the system? All of a sudden, the games start and the Yankees hit 5 damn homers in the first game, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, by the way, because we got torpedo bats." And it's like, wait, what? So the transparency of it would be really good. I understand if people don't like it, because you're right. There is a performance enhancingness to it. If you want to get into the technical aspects of it, if it is just moving around wood based on a certain ounce and baseball approves of it, then I think it's fine. It's a bunch of really smart people going in and optimizing it.
True.
Maybe we'll have it for other things in the future. Maybe there's going to be a certain type of cleat where they're going to move it and it's going to have a better press off. Maybe there's going to be a glove that they're going to change for better release. I'm okay if you don't like it. I think it's fine. But it's a little data sciencey. But I would love for there to be some transparency in baseball about everything. About, why do we still have blackouts in games? Why do you not tell us when you change the baseballs? Why do you do ABS and you don't do it? Why are your umpires so bad and you ignore it? Like, I just want them to be more communicative of baseball. By the way, how about that pitch tonight on what was it? I think it was Jung-Hoo Lee, where that it? Where that, I don't know if you guys watched it. It was the most strike pitch. Jose Alvarado threw that pitch in, and I think it was to Jung-Hoo Lee, and it was the most strike you've ever seen. Ump didn't call it because Jung-Hoo Lee pulled it back because, by the way, Jung-Hoo Lee is a phenomenal eye and you would trust him, but it's just like, they stink. They still.
And you know what? And yesterday in the same series, Giants and Phillies, Eric Miller throws the ball about 6 inches off the plate.
Unreal Muto. Yeah.
Strike 3, man. It's like, what? So that,
when the Giants announcers are like, what the hell was that?
Every team is going to be like, oh, he got a call. But like, there are some calls that we're all like, hey, if it goes against us either way, it's really bad. So maybe that's not even the transparency, but coming back, and that's me just ranting and soapboxing, I suppose. But at the end of the day, like, as far as the torpedo bat goes, hey, you don't like it. I get it. It is a qualified piece. It's not like anyone's corking a bat. It's filling the role, though. Maybe they need to study him a little bit more. The only thing I would really chastise baseball about is if the torpedo bats came out, they've been around, and then if baseball were to now come in and step in and be like, oh yeah, we got to get those out. What are you talking about? Like, are you so oblivious that you just let this go by and then now you finally took a look at it? So I actually think it would be the worst thing for baseball, especially for their look, would to be go in and now do something about it, because then it looks like you're completely incompetent and you never even looked into it.
Hey, quickly before you go, you seem to have an interest in the the umpires' calls. So we had a chance in preseason baseball to get a chance to see that you were able to what's the term I'm looking for? You were able to challenge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the challenge.
I've seen that a ton.
What did you think of it in the preseason?
It's awesome.
And do you think it has to come to major league level?
Without question. They've actually been doing this a couple years in the Arizona Fall League. That Arizona Fall League has become a testing ground for a lot of stuff. They've done automatic balls and strikes by a robo ump they did a couple years ago. That didn't go super well because you had umps waiting for the call and striking out and players getting super upset. I think the challenge is great, and it's super easy. It's super quick. It is bam, bam, hit your hat. Yep. They got the screen up. They got the hawk. They can pull it up in 5 seconds. And you know what else is really cool about it? is they'll show you the zoom in and they give you the actual, this was 1 meter off, and they show you exactly. Now, maybe that takes away some of the beauty and love of baseball and some of the finesse of it. But I don't know. Also, if you like bet it all, it's pretty frustrating when you got something going on and it's a strike and they don't get called out. I think it's just the best thing for baseball to use that. I think it's a super fast system. I think it's super easy. And guess what? If they got it said, if these guys are challenging it and they don't get it, it's just like in football. It's just like if the 49ers, if Kyle Shanahan, that's my team, by the way, I'm not necessarily a Giants fan. I'm a diehard 49ers fan for San Francisco people. If you throw out 2 challenges, you miss it, you're gone and you're done. So I think the same thing should be implemented in baseball.
I think you get a chance to see when like you said, when the game is on the line. Look at a guy. Look, before there was any challenge system in Major League Baseball, and that farce where the Chicago White Sox pitcher, he loses a no-hitter, and I mean everyone in the stadium.
Perfect game. There
you go. So I think there's room for it, but you don't want to take it too far. Is the only thing I like. Like you said,
I agree with that.
Robo umpires. I'm like, what the hell?
I don't think that went super well. By the way, I don't think that ended up working a ton, because, like I said, AFL they had actually multiple players like start screaming and they had to kick a player out because it was like, you can't wait 5 seconds and then make the call. So it wasn't refined. I think that's why they moved to the challenge system. And I really do think it is solid. We saw one ump have 5 bad calls called again. Like, that person needs to get better. We all have to know when we're bad. There are some umps right now that it's like what we've seen early on in the season, and maybe it's recency bias or something like that. And maybe I'm more focused on it or something, but the calls are so bad. Go to any game, and you're just going to see these weird zones, and they keep telling the blah, blah, blah has got a really tight zone today. And it's like, why? We should have a uniformed zone for the most part. And if you're going to have a tight zone, at least be consistent with it. It's not. So just put the stupid challenge in here. It's super quick. It keeps people accountable. Maybe we'll all be happier with umps. Let's be happier with baseball. That's what I'm looking for. And that's with transparency, and definitely would be with a little bit of challenge.
I'm a big collector. I like over your right shoulder. You got all those balls autographed?
Oh, yeah. So I'm an autograph guy. I've got a ton. If anybody's watching on here, I got future game balls here. We got some legends. We got some John Smoltz, Randy Johnson. I am a big collector of cards and baseballs, and I got lots of autograph stuff here. We got Christian McCaffrey. I know there's some Raiders people in here, but my Christian McCaffrey mini helmet. But yeah, I'm a big junkie for autograph stuff.
And what's that hat? I'm a big hat guy. Guys always are like, Glenn's got a different hat every game. On your right shoulder there, you got that. I love
that's your other YouTube, right?
So this is my show. This is my other show in this league.
Love the logo.
I got that. This is one of those big hats right there.
I love it.
Yeah, if you like fantasy baseball, that's it's all fantasy baseball talk there. Prospect One is all prospect talk, and Fantasy Pros is just my big work. So I'm in a lot of fantasy spaces. I've also been on, I've got to do a lot of cool baseball stuff. I was on CBS Fantasy Baseball Today for some years. The Athletic with Eno Saris, a Bay Area guy. Eno is I love Eno more than anybody. Eno sent me to the World Series a couple years ago. We did shows for a year or two. So I did Athletic. I've been over on CBS. I've done a lot of cool stuff, gotten to speak outside of fantasy as well, but I'm very, very fantasy heavy.
Nice.
Well, you've been a great guest. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Appreciate it. And you got fans in here. Dan, he's a good friend of ours. He's a fan. He picked up Kurtz for his other league. So
I see you guys. I see Dan. I see Will in there. I appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
You guys are the best.
Awesome. Again,
beautiful.
Chris, thanks. We'll have to do this again sometime. This is awesome.
Hey, reach out. I'm always available. Hey, if everyone doesn't know, for transparency on this, is how cool this was. You guys reached out to me today. We made it happen. We got on the pod. I'm glad to do it. You guys are fantastic, and glad everybody was hanging. And hopefully, I didn't rant and ramble too much. And
that was great.
A little bit of insight.
Awesome.
Really insightful. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Guys.
Good job.
Take it easy, Chris.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great show.
Thank you.
All right, there was Chris, guys, from Fantasy Pros, man. And first and foremost, thank you, Senior Softball Games. He's the one that was on top of that. He gave me the heads up on it. And hey, dude, I 100% appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Honestly, thank you. That was a lot of fun. We'll have to keep having him come back and give us some information, and maybe get into some fantasy. One of these days, maybe you want to do some fantasy talk. I think that's the guy to go to, right?
Absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely. A real, how often do we get guests where you can really pick their brain? That was great. I had some pre-qualified questions he was able to answer. You got a chance to ask him about our minor league system and a couple of guys. So, dude, we covered it all. I was really happy with that.
And I tell you something, I feel a lot better with Bryce Eldridge. I was getting a little nervous, right? I was getting a little nervous. He's high on this. He's talking about this guy kind of being a unicorn as far as a comp. I mean, that's something. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like he's still going to be playing first base, according to what he's saying when he saw out there.
Interesting.
It looks like he gets out there to all the complexes. He's definitely in a know. And it got. Hey, I watch him all. I didn't even recognize the name. I just go and look on YouTube and say, "Oh yeah, I know these guys know what they're talking about."
Oh, he started talking about Eldridge there. I see a little twinkle in your eye, man.
Dude, and then he's higher on Wiz and Hunt right now. That's what it looks like. He's higher on Wiz and Hunt, which is freaking cool. But anyways, guys, what we'll do is we'll cut that up into a separate show or a separate video once we're done with this, and so you guys just can go watch that again and just see if anything perks your interest. Anyways, let's get back into this. Giants lose 6-4 in Philadelphia, Glenn. I kind of talked about it off the rip. Man, I don't know if the Giants would have won or not, but having Verlander come out there in that 6th inning was a shock. I thought, okay, he got his 5. He could get the win if they hold on to it because they only had it by 1. And Melvin rolled the dice to have Verlander. I think, look, Verlander was in the dugout politicking. He was. And unfortunately, Melvin went with him thinking that he probably could get it done. And unfortunately, they lost by 2, but still, yeah.
Yeah, Chris mentioned that too, didn't he? Old time managers, they just kind of they're set in their ways, right? And maybe that's what played into that game against the Yankees. I was so flustered about, and we saw it again tonight. Bob Melvin seems to be over the last, even though we talked about Farhan, he was pulling the puppet strings a little bit, but Bob Melvin. He's kind of set in his way. He takes it in his direction, and if he thinks he can get away with something with a pitcher get another out, and sometimes it can bite you. Sometimes it works, Eric. So we'll have to see how it fares off the rest of the season. But what'd you think of the bullpen tonight?
Well, here's the problem. Birdsong, unfortunately, he threw a pitch. It was a decent pitch, but all Harper had to do was get it up in the air because that wind was whipping. It didn't take much. Look what happened I feel bad for Ramos. He tried as best as he could to get to that ball that was going down the left field line. And the wind just kept pushing it. He couldn't outrun the wind. It just kept pushing the ball. And I thought he was so close to getting that. But the bullpen still look. Rodriguez is still taking care of business. Birdsong gave up his first few runs, but again, like I said, you got it up in the air, and hey, that's all. Sometimes that's all it takes. The issue I have is just that Verlander decision. But hey, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? You know what? Before we get into, how about we just start talking with the let me get the what do you call it?
That's up there, so we know what we're talking about, Eric.
Here we go. Yeah, let's do this.
And now, today's Giants in Review on Giants Sports Talk Live.
All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the box score, guys. There it is. Giants lose 6-4. Giants drop to 12-5. Phillies improved 10-7. Pretty equal teams right here. Kirkgreen got the win. He's 2-1 with a 1.5 ERA. Verlander gets the loss, sitting at a 6.75 ERA, guys. Yeah, this is after 4 starts. We'll talk a little bit more about this, guys. And Strom got the save with the 1 ERA. Here we go. Ramos had 1 hit today. He should have had a couple of hits, but man, he's tattooing the ball. Unfortunately, it's finding gloves. He had 1 strikeout. Adames had 1 hit. Nice. Lee had 2 hits. Chapman had 2 hits. So you got the middle of the lineup was doing something. Flores, no hits today. But he did get an RBI. And
something else. He had a stolen base, Eric. So he has matched his career high.
Dude, how did what was going on at home plate? Real Muto didn't even try to tag him. Dude, it took him about a day and a half to go from second to home base. And he got in there. I couldn't believe it. I was like, when I saw the ball coming to the catcher, I was like, oh, man, he's out by a mile. I was like, what are you doing? Why'd you send him? He can't freaking run. And then, hey, he just caught the ball and just stood there. He didn't even try to swipe tag or nothing. I was like, okay, whatever.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Wilmer pulling a fast one tonight, Eric. I love it.
A fast one. Schmidt had a hit, but and that was a huge hit. A huge hit, knocked in 2 runs. Again, that was the Flores. But there was a couple of times he could have had something. And then, of course, I think he had what did he have, 1 or 2 strikeouts? He had 1 strikeout.
You know, I feel bad in a way for Schmidt. He has produced in every single game he has started. Yeah. But he's not getting the playing time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Again, we talked about it with Chris a few minutes ago. When you're blocked, man, it's tough to get in there.
It is. It's tough to get in there. Matos, no hits. Yastrzemski came in, no hits. Bailey. We'll talk about Bailey. I don't know about him hitting from the right side. Did you see his body language? He looked defeated even before he stepped in the box. I mean, he just looked like he's just throwing the bat out there. Hey, if I hit it, that's awesome. Because he just looked overwhelmed batting from the right-hand side. Now,
he has a total lack of interest, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what you need to do with him. Even if you're facing a lefty, still have him bat from the left, because from the right-hand side of the plate, he is absolutely flummoxed. It's bad. But and if it's
but the fans love him. Did I not criticize? I poo-pooed on him all preseason, Eric, and everybody was like, "Oh, but he can catch it."
He can't catch.
I told you the guy cannot hit his weight.
Right now, well, he can't hit from the right. From the left, he's decent. He's okay.
He's okay.
That's decent. Okay. From the right, he's atrocious.
He's no freaking Thurman Munson. Come on.
No, not everybody is, though. But I'm just saying, his glove will keep him in the game. But yes, they're going to have to figure something out. I don't know.
And Verlander, not pitching like a Roger Clemens, is he? Holy smoke.
He goes 5 2/3. It didn't, again, they just should have been done after 5. He allowed 8 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, only 1 strikeout. Rodriguez came in for a third, got it done. Birdsong gave up 2 hits. They gave up 2 earned runs. Again, hey, it's Bryce Harper, man. If someone's going to beat you, at least it's Bryce Harper. Again,
yeah, but you know what scares me about a guy like, and you know what? I'm just not happy. I'm just not pleased with us signing him to begin with. But somebody mentioned, a couple of guys, I think, brought it up in the chat while we were doing our interview. Look at Verlander. I wouldn't say he's regressed, but for example, in the fantasy league, there was no way. No matter what he did, I'm not releasing this guy. People are trying to trade for him. Kodai Senga. He starts the season. I think he pitched 4. Then he pitched 6. The other day, he pitched 8. We got guys on remember the Reds? Our Red series just wrapped up at home at Oracle. Green goes 9 and what?
Almost.
A third?
No, 8.
8 and a third. I mean, yeah. So can we rely on this guy just to pitch 4 innings every game, and then we got to run the bullpen with him, Eric?
Yeah.
Is he bringing enough? For what we're paying him? Is he bringing enough to the table?
That's a great question, because here we are. He's got. What is this? Was this his 4th start? Right? This is his 4th start. And then
this is
he's asking the question. He's asking the question. How long do you let Senior?
It's like Hicks. He hits that plateau.
Did he just say Versuck? How long do you let Verlander keep going out there? That's a great question, because again, it's how much I don't know. How much rope does this guy? I mean, they paid him $15 million. They're going to give him he's going to be in the rotation either till there's an injury or he's just an absolute dumpster fire. He was good through 5. He only had 2 earned runs, and that's okay. I would have been happy with that. I would have been absolutely okay if he just went 5 innings and gave up 2 runs.
I know you're happy with that. That's why I'm inquiring. Inquiring minds need to know. Are you prepared to say, I'm fine with him all season?
I've never said I was.
4 or 5 innings. Are you happy with that?
I never said I was. What I'm saying is they signed him, so get the most you can out of him, but know that there is a certain time you got to yank him. He had the win. It's okay. If he's looking for the win, if that's all he's looking for, and the Giants were in it, you're up 3-2. Bring in Bivens. He was fresh. He could have gone 2 innings. Then bring in Trevino and then close it out with freaking Walker. Something to that effect. But you wind up going, you try to stretch him out, and it just didn't work.
Eric, you know what happens when you the old adage, when you go to the well once too often, buddy.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean that's
we saw it. We're seeing it.
Right. There you go. Exactly. And his pitch count was up there. I think he was at 80? He was in the 80s after this 5 innings. So call it a day. Give me the ball. Hey, give him a handshake. Give him a hug. Thanks for that outing, Verlander. We're taking it.
I don't know if it was his control, Eric, but I noticed the pitch count in about the 3rd inning. He was throwing a lot of balls off the plate.
Both. I'll tell you what, though.
And it could have been the wind. Did you see the wind in the? If you just tuned in the 5th or 6th inning and said, "Holy crap! Look at those flags!" It was twice as windy in the 1st inning. I don't know how they could play in the.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it till when I started watching like around the 3rd inning or so. We were out in the backyard, but
I said to you last night when we were doing the show. I think it was off air, so I apologize. I said to you after the show, I said, wow, Eric, on a Monday night, they had 40,636. On a Monday, they loved their ball, and tonight, 38,200. So those are awesome numbers in Philly.
They're fanatics. They're
fanatics. Yeah, there you go.
I tell you, though, one thing I like what the Giants did, Luzardo is a tough pitcher. And the Giants had a great approach, man. They made him throw a lot of pitches. They got into the bullpen. It was looking good. The Phillies were doing the same thing to Verlander. It was a good game. Unfortunately, the Giants just didn't come out on top. It's okay. You got 2 more games. Not a big deal. I was concerned. Remember, ever since we started talking about this upcoming series, I was like, I'm worried about Verlander because I don't know what Verlander we're going to get. And today, I still don't know what Verlander we have. Right?
No, he's just
there's Anonymous.
Sneaky good.
The wind was so bad, I was walking through the concourse, and the condiment cart went from one side to the other. Had there been a kid, it would have been knocked. That's crazy. Wow.
It is.
Anonymous. Yeah, he's at the bank watching the series.
Sweet.
Right on.
Out of town scoreboard. We saw a lot of runs last night, Eric. San Diego, Chicago, Dodgers ramped it up in Colorado. In the 5th inning, Cubs and San Diego, no score, and the Dodgers are nursing a 1-0 lead.
And now,
home against
a
Colorado.
Giant Sports Talk Live scoreboard update.
Right on cue.
Let's try to take a look at this here. Yeah, as you just said, 5th inning, Cubs and Padres, no score.
There you go.
You just talked about the Dodgers and the Rockies, only 1-0. Again, that's
what happened in Miami tonight.
Miami got their asses handed to them by the Diamondbacks. Beat them 10-4 in Miami.
There you go. The Cincinnati Reds doubled up the Seattle Mariners today. Austin Hayes homer to help the Reds beat Luis Castillo and the Mariners, doubling up the score.
Oh, Lodelo must have had another decent game. Good on him. Nationals beat the Pirates 3-0 in PNC Park. Another beautiful park, by the way. Ooh, He had a 445-footer. Wow.
That's mammoth.
You already know about that one.
He's starting to really swing a good bat. The Red Sox rebound. What did they give up? 16 last night, Eric? Wow. They come back for a 7-4 win tonight. But I would say at 9-10 and 5-7 away, that team is a bit of a letdown, especially I know he got a pair of home runs tonight, but Bregman in your lineup, and they got some talent, man. And I am shocked by the slow start of the Red Sox. Even though they won tonight, 7-4, we'll have to keep our eye on them. I thought they'd be a much quicker out of the gate team than they are showing us. There was a good game in Baltimore, but not for the hometown team.
No, Guardians beat the Orioles 6-3. I can't remember who went for. I think it was Logan Allen. I can't remember who went for the. Oh, it was Charlie Morton. That's who it was.
Yeah, Charlie Morton. But you know what? You know what Morton's record is?
Bad, probably.
0-4.
Bad.
That
all right.
is.
How did the Yankees do in the Bronx?
Holy cow, the Yankees. They beat the Royals by a score of 4-2. You know who had a good game for a change? I was kind of shocked. I'm just pulling up his stats for the game, Eric, and that was, let me see, a couple of clicks of the button. I want to make sure I get this right. Don't mislead you. Dominguez. He has stuttered. He had such a big bat in the preseason, and last year in the minors, he was hurt quite a bit. Tonight, 3 for 3, a walk. He had 3 RBIs. He almost single-handedly led the team. Judge, he went 2 for 3 in that game as well.
All right. Blue Jays beat the Braves. How about that? They come back, beat them in Toronto. 6-3 is the final. Braves are now 2-10 on the road.
That's terrible. That's terrible. The Brewers, they come back for a 5-0 win, a shutout. And look at that, Eric. Not just a shutout. Do you see? Look at that stat. Look at that stat line. Holy smoke! The Detroit Tigers only mustered up 1 hit in that whole game. Priester, the winner. Your buddy Flaherty was on the hill. Look at that, 1 hit. Detroit not swinging good bats tonight. Maybe they left their torpedoes at home. I don't know.
Maybe Minnesota Twins beat the New York Mets. Sorry about that, Mark. Sorry about that, Armand. 6-3. Twins win. And sorry that the Giants didn't beat your Phillies, because now the Phillies have gained on your New York Mets.
I could be wrong, but I think it's Senior wearing a smile tonight. Tyler Soderstrom in fantasy. A pair of 3-run home runs. The A's.
Good God.
Over in Sacktown. They're lighting the beam. The green beam. 12-3
Wow.
over the White Sox. Even though that game was played in Chicago, it's a big road win.
There you go. And Astros, they blank the Cardinals on low-scoring game, 2-0. Hey, that was enough. Beat the Cardinals 2-0.
Cardinals have been ramping it up, getting a lot of runs. And look, we saw it with that Boston game, Eric. It is always the tail of the tape when you score 15 runs. What happens the next night? You lay an egg. And look at that. Cardinals couldn't put anything on the board. The Rangers, they blanked the Angels by a score of 4-0. Tyler Mahle, he had 9 Ks in the well. It's right there. He had 9 Ks versus the Angels. See, I wasn't lying. Let's again take a quick peek. The out-of-town scoreboard also. Chicago, San Diego, no score. Bottom of the 5th. The Dodgers, they've opened it up, Eric. At last check 2 minutes ago, it was 1-0. How about 4-0? They have ramped it up on Colorado.
Not a surprise against the Rockies.
No.
All right, guys. I didn't get a chance to talk about this off the bat because we had our guest. But let's not forget.
Off the bat?
How you like that?
That's good.
Hey, how about that?
Okay.
Today was Jackie Robinson Day. That's why everyone is wearing number 42. I'm pretty sure all of you in the chat probably understand what that's all about.
Yep.
Honoring the memory. Not just the memory, but the breakthrough of Jackie Robinson into the major leagues back in 1947 on this date. Again, broke the color barrier. It was fantastic. The guy will always be remembered. The guy was a fantastic ball player. Was the rookie of the year. 2 years after that, he won MVP. Again, just to show Major League Baseball that color should not be a factor in someone being a major leaguer. So let's not forget today, here on April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day, big day for baseball. You know what I mean? And more importantly, let's not forget about Branch Rickey. It was his idea to bring a black ball player into the major leagues, man. And that took a huge gamble, right? I mean, he was putting himself out there to take some arrows. So again, let's not forget the memory and the greatness of Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Eric. Didn't he get a start with the St. Louis Browns, Branch Rickey, and then
dude, he was all over him.
He was, and then
went to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
For him, can you imagine if you and I were doing this? Well, I mean, how times have changed. If we could have done a show like this back in that era, dude, the risk you put yourself and families, and boy, that was some move. Signing a black ball player in that era, given the situation, it just, dude, it deserves its spot in history, Eric.
And then look, for those of you who don't know, there's plenty of information to go look up about Jackie Robinson. There's a reason why Jackie Robinson picked Jackie Robinson. Was he the best black baseball player? No, there were better ones out there. But the thing is and Branch Rickey had to understand, the guy we have to get has to be able to have the mentality to be able to not, quote unquote, fight back, because that's what was going to happen. He had to have the temperament to be able to take the abuse, so to speak, because again, that paid dividends. That allowed this experiment at the time to take hold, take root, and blossom. because now
And look what it did for thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of black athletes in Major League Baseball. Eric, it opened a door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just open it up. And you're a bit of a baseball historian in general. I could be wrong. I'm throwing it out there. I believe years ago that I had read when Jackie Robinson was playing in Montreal. And I believe the whole Jackie Robinson situation, that was why we now have batting helmets. He had to wear a hard ball cap.
That I don't know. I don't remember that, but I do know.
They were throwing.
I
at
know
him. So
Branch Rickey.
They had hard plastic installed in his little hat. You know what the hats looked like back then, a little floppy little.
But
so they made it a helmet of sorts, and look what we have today. So it changed the game. This signing changed the game in many aspects.
Well, I think because they were still wearing the soft caps even when he came up to the major leagues. You know who actually instituted the hard caps? It was Branch Rickey when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates, if I'm not mistaken. He was the first one to institute the batting helmet. So
there you go. I knew there was a Jackie Robinson.
You're somewhere in there.
Lead in there.
LD,
we'll put our stories together. We'll come up with a dandy.
There you go. LD, you sir are correct. Satchel Paige was a brilliant. Anyways,
Satchel Paige came out of retirement with the St. Louis Browns. He did, and it was all gimmick. And you know how much I hate gimmicks. They had a rocking chair out in the bullpen for him.
Oh yeah.
You know who the owner of the Browns was.
Yeah, well, that was Bill Veeck.
Yeah, so he was all about. I mean, he had the number 1/8.
But he did win the World Series with the Indians. So wait, right? Indians? I'm pretty sure it was the Indians, right?
Say that? Yeah, they were the Indians back then. Yep. There you go.
All right. Anyways, let's get back to some Giants baseball, guys. Let's talk about this. Where do we want to go?
By the way, look good.
Where do we want to go?
Just a closing note. It looked good, didn't it? Everybody in the number 42 looked good on this special day.
Yeah, I love it, man. Nobody had a name on their back. It was just the 42. Love it.
I like that.
It's awesome. I like how baseball does that. It's freaking awesome.
Right on. All right.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Anonymous. I've heard stories about that with Monte Irvin. Yep. Absolutely. But Verlander, let's talk about Verlander. We talked a little bit about him. I mean, what do you guys think? I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. I'm usually not a loss for words, but I'm kind of a loss for words. I'm kind of a loss for words on what to do with him.
Guys, this don't happen often.
Right. I mean, he pitched 5 innings, and I'm okay. And to be honest with you, is that sad to say that I'm okay with? He's 42 years old, so I'm okay if he only goes 5 innings. You still got a bunch of young guys. Hicks should be able to get you 6. Everybody else should be able to get you 6 to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, I don't see him ramping it up, Eric. And the only thing that you have said negative in a long time that gets me fired up is I don't want to settle, especially the way this team is playing right now and surprising a lot of us. You're like, I'm okay. I don't want just okay, Eric. They had no business signing this guy.
But there's nothing. We can't change it.
They had no business signing this guy. Give Birdsong the starting role, man.
But the problem is that's not going to happen until
I know, but
until either wheels fall off or he just breaks down.
Dude, they put themselves in this position so you can take the good with the bad.
I get it.
Yeah, take the good with the bad.
But look, and I think to an extent the Giants are seeing what they have as far as pitching is concerned, and then next year maybe it's going to be a little bit different. He's a stopgap. That's why I wasn't so high. A lot of people were high on the Verlander, the mentorship and all that, right? Hold on. Just let me get through this. The mentorship. I mean, look, yes, the mentorship is going to help when you're in spring training, and it's going to help throughout the season. I get it. But you got to have the guy go out there and take care of business. And I keep saying it. I don't mean to be beating a dead horse, but yes, that's his job. His job. You pay him $15 million to take the ball every 5th day and go out there and deal. And right now, at this particular time, he's not necessarily dealing. Everyone said last time, remember his last outing? I thought it wasn't a very good outing. Yeah, he had 9 strikeouts. Everyone said, but he had 9 strikeouts. And yes, sure, he had 9 strikeouts. Well, look what happened today. He goes 5 2/3 and only had 1 strikeout, and it was very similar to what he performed in his last outing, and he had 9 strikeouts. So again, I don't know what to think about Justin Verlander. This is my issue. He's 42 years old. And yet, senior, he's not getting 300 wins. There's no way. There's no way this guy is going to get 300 wins. He's going to have to pitch 3 more years. No way. He hasn't even got his first. He could have got his first victory today if he didn't go out there, right? He would have had it.
You're right.
So he's not getting it. And
No.
it's just.
Look at the guys in the chat are all over the place on this topic. So Dean says he agreed with you. He was just in there a little too long, right?
He was just 1 inning too long.
And then Jay Farrell bounces right off that and says, I'm willing to bet Verlander will be done pitching for the season within a month.
See, I'm not going to go that far.
That's intense. Well, your buddy there, Marty Laurie, he's been around the game a long time. He said he didn't have him 100 innings.
Yeah, I think he had him at 12 starts or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think he was just, I don't know if that was his actual, but it was kind of just a statement he made. Yeah.
And I'm not going to get out. Some guys were in there kind of chattering about the home run ball. Dude, anybody, little Jung Hoo Lee, if you launch the ball and they win, it was gone.
I'm going to say Ramos did not misplay that ball. He tried to run after it, man. The wind was blowing it.
Yes.
There's nothing he could. Anonymous, hold on. Anonymous, you're at the game. Let me know if I'm off base here. I saw freaking Ramos was getting on his horse to try to get to that ball. Was it the wind, or was it Ramos? Was it more Ramos misplaying it, or was it the wind pushing that ball further to the left field line?
Good call out to Anonymous. He was there, but on TV,
I would like to understand what's up. What's up, Ibrahim?
Dude, did you not use earlier the term jet stream? And that's what it was.
It was a jet stream to right, but to left it was getting pushed.
Yeah, they put that ball up there. Just amazing how. And you know what? You know what Dean graduated with? Physics. Dude, it's funny how the ball goes up into the wind and it just carries it, man. Or you hit it on a rainy day and it just slows it down. That's physics of baseball. So don't blame Ramos. And don't blame, you can't really blame Birdsong.
Even if he broke back, I bet you the ball, when it came off the bat, looked like it was going to go, but the wind, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You see the ball coming off the bat the way it is.
Yep.
He's going, I don't want this to get over my head. There was runners on. He doesn't want to go over his head. So that's why he broke back. The wind then got involved and it just threw everything into freaking.
Kyle says it looked like he blew it. I don't know, man.
I don't think he blew
I'm not hard on Ramos.
I don't know. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But because at first I was like, man, that looked bad. But then I saw the replay. I was like, man, he was doing his best to try to get after it. That wind was gnarly. See, and that's the thing. That's why I want to ask Anonymous, because he was there and he understands what the condition.
Dude,
we're sitting We're sitting
the condiment carts around the stadium.
We were sitting in the comfort of our couches, so we don't know what it was like for the guys on the field. All right, the wind was whipping. The hit was very high. Ramos was positioned towards center field. He was. They had him playing towards center field. He ran and he just couldn't get there. Was more of the starting position. They had him playing. That's right. They had him playing more left center than left. Because if you notice that, because I didn't see him necessarily break back, it was where they had him positioned. And that's not his fault. He's following what his coaches are telling him to do.
Yep, that's all called from the dugout.
So that's what I thought. It was the wind.
And like gotta be careful. If you're under a canopy, you're within the confines of the stadium and it's blowing the hot dog carts around, dude.
Right. No, it's not Verlander. No, and to your point, LD, that's not Verlander either. I get it. But the issue I'm having is he didn't have dominant stuff. Like he, at least in his previous start, he had 9 strikeouts. Today he had nothing with strike. He had one strikeout. So I don't know, man. I honestly. Oh, let's not start about the physics. Remember when we did? I don't think you were here. No, you weren't here. Oh,
what's that?
God.
What?
Oh, we broke it down on NorCal. We were talking about in Game 7 versus the Royals. Remember when they bobbled the ball out in left field?
Okay.
And we were wondering how far Crawford was back and how far he had to. Dude, I brought up Google Earth and we were measuring the feet. Dude, it was nuts. It was nuts, man.
I'd say it got off the rails by the sounds of it.
Dude, it was a great show though. It was fun.
I got a message from Tommy B asking me what date we're leaving. He wants to go back and look at the Mexican League.
Oh, jeez. Look at that.
Oh,
Well,
boy. We've had a whole lot of fun doing this show, guys. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
You tune in, you never know what we're going to do.
All right,
Great
so-
guest off the bat tonight, talking Giants, tough loss. Eric, I had them winning 3 out of 4 in this series.
I think I'm going to tell you, I'm happy
Can they
with the
split?
split. I'm happy with the split. If they split, I'm good. I'll say right on. Let's go.
I'm happy with that too. San Diego has taken a 1-0 lead on the Cubs, but the Cubs have runners on the pond, first and third. Dodgers 5-0. So there you go.
Imagine that. But so,
Robert
again,
Rothberg says they'll redeem themselves tomorrow and probably go on a 25-game win streak. So it's okay.
Well, and here's the thing is, I'm still confused on Verlander. I just don't know what to think about him. I guess we're gonna have to wait a couple of more starts because right now he has not had. Let's talk about this. Fossey says Verlander is washed. See,
I was gonna say, Eric, when I saw him post that up in our chat, Fossey, and in caps, Verlander is washed. The guys are kind of like the guys don't know what to think. It's like 50-50. We still have guys saying, "Oh, he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to do okay."
No, he's going to be a Hall of
Famer.
Famer. These are two different arguments to have here, though, guys. Right? Let's talk about this. Is Verlander Hall of Famer? Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. Okay. Now let's talk about how he is as a pitcher today, right now, with the San Francisco Giants. It's just different. I don't know. He has not had. Can we all agree? Let's all agree, please. I hope you guys agree. He has not had a quote unquote Justin Verlander start yet.
No.
And look, and this is and what concerns me is this is the beginning of the season. This is where I thought that Blake Snell, you guys got me all talking Blake Snell. This is where I thought Justin Verlander was really gonna shine, is here in the beginning of the season. That is not happening. All right. So I don't know what to say. I really don't. Oh, where do we got going? Okay, Anonymous. He goes, Verlander was struggling hard all game. He didn't look comfortable with conferencing with JP after every inning. That is why it's more surprising that Melvin let him go on for the 6th. I agree.
But we're 4 games in with him, Eric. Have you considered them quality starts? Quality?
Yes. No, not quality.
Not quality.
Quality start is, well, by definition, 6 innings, giving up.
But I'm just layman's terms.
He's had yet to have a quality start. Marcus,
he almost looks like that kind of pitcher. Like I kind of equate him in our bullpen to O'Bivens. He's out there, Eric, to just he's getting the start. He'll just eat a few innings. Let's see if we're in the game. I just don't. Hey, are you confident when he goes to the hill? Because I sure aren't. I'm not.
I'm always. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
We're going to do that in the morning show now when he's pitching. We'll just flip a coin, see how he's going to do.
Right. Marcus, he hits it on the head. Verlander gave us 5 good. Yes, that's what I said. 5 good. Pull him out. That's what we needed. And he got greedy going for another inning. Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people in on Bo Mel, right?
Well, look, Bob Melvin's been having a great year so far. For me, this is his first boo-boo. This is Bob Melvin's first boo-boo. And I'm okay.
My concern is that you've got Verlander and you've got Hicks, who are showing us, and until they, again, all preseason, Eric, I've always been on the side of, until you show me different. Now, the Giants are showing me different this year, aren't they? I said I won't be in on them until they show me, well, they're showing me different. Hicks, Verlander. For me, all they brought to the table is what I expected. They haven't shown me anything different. They're 4 and 5 inning pitchers. 5 inning pitchers.
Marcus, 100%. I think Verlander politic, but that's the problem. As a manager, you need to understand you can't be swayed. You got to go with what you see. Verlander, you gave me 5 good innings. I appreciate it, but you're at 80-something pitches. You're not exactly on. You're done for the day. The bullpen will take it the rest of the way.
The pitcher's not at the behest of the manager, Eric.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Correct.
That's why every time, and I wish I've had dreams. I've had fantasies about this guy being our manager. Will you imagine Terry Francona? He says you're out of the game. You're out. He's the father figure. He says, you're coming out. You don't negotiate with your manager.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah, and he wanted to go back out there.
And we saw that a few years ago at Oracle Park. You
Well,
you
no,
pulled out
we've
and you
seen this.
throw a
Look.
hissy fit.
Look, this happens through baseball. Look, remember, what was him? The Dark Knight. Who was that pitcher? Remember for the Mets? Mark Armand. I know you're out there. What's his name? What the hell is that kid's name? And he politicked to have him go back out and finish the game, and you guys blew it. What was the pitcher's name? He was a flash in the Matt Harvey. Armand, I knew you would know. Matt Harvey. Oh yeah, Mark, you said it too. Yes.
Armand coming through.
He did the same thing, except it was during the World Series.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want to go back out there. And you know what happened?
Yeah, but that's what makes a manager. You stand up, you're running the show, Eric. Not the inmates aren't running the asylum.
Correct. Now, Dean has a point. He goes, the first half of Snell was way worse than Verlander. Well, I'll tell you what, Dean, yes, but it's still bad. We're talking about an almost 7 ERA. An almost 7 ERA. And here's the difference. This is where it concerns me, Dean, and maybe you agree. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just making a point here. The thing is, Snell in his second half was freaking on fire. Verlander, on the other hand, if he does not come out on fire in the first half, it's going to get worse in the second. It just is. Because he's not going to get better. He's the opposite of Snell. I thought he was going to be coming out of the gate on fire and then eventually tail off. Snell, I thought, okay, he's going to have a slow start, but then he's going to finish strong. So this is not good, because if you're already starting out after 4 starts and you got a close to a 7 ERA, you're just not getting it done. And to LD's point, yes. I mean, you did Ramos see? The problem is it's still a hit, though. You got to take in consideration the factors of what's going on out there. Even though it's wind and the outfielder's going to get out there, it's unfortunately that's the way it goes. It's baseball. They decided to position this player has notoriously hit. He's more of a pull hitter. He's not going to hit it to left field, and they had him shaded to more left center. I mean, if you want to fault the coaches, that's not on Ramos. And if Verlander wanted to get out, hey, he should have struck the guy out. I mean, he's got strikeout stuff, but he didn't have strikeout stuff today.
I don't want to go down the deep. It's a deep, dark road when we go back talking about Snell. But Eric, I don't even think. For me, Snell's first half started the All-Star break. Dude, the guy he was hurt and he never had a spring training. So I equate his moderate action in the first half of the season, Eric, as his spring training.
Yeah.
I thought he had a great second half.
Yeah.
But he's hurt again. Yeah. Let me ask you this, Eric. Today, we're out in the Sandlot, and when you and I are tossing the bat back and forth, you go, I get the first pick. Are you taking Snell or are you taking Verlander?
Snell.
There you go.
And again, just as the player, I don't care who they're playing for. I'm taking out. I'm not looking at it as this guy pitches for the Dodgers, this guy's pitching for the Giants.
No,
I would take Snell.
Pitcher for us.
I think everybody would pick Snell.
Ooh. There you go. See, I thought about that earlier tonight. I want to see Bird start.
That's going to go over like a turd in a punch bowl. It ain't happening.
You get to see
it ain't happening.
There's
no way.
You talk about a guy who's going to be a team leader, then you get to see, will the real Verlander stand up?
No, that he would never.
What's best for the team?
Verlander will never go to the pin.
No what's better? What's better? Go to the pen or be cut?
Well, he ain't getting cut either. That's just the way it is, man.
Well, dude,
that's how it's going to be.
Dude, at the All-Star break, if he has one win, what are you going to say then? Like, are we going to
look? To be honest with you,
I just don't want us to
rather see Hicks. Rather see Hicks go to the pin than Verlander. To be honest with you, because Verlander could give you 5. I'm okay with that. Dude,
I've been happier with Hicks.
Hicks has been doing okay, but we'll see. We'll see how he does. He's going to be going up. Is he the next one up? He's the next one up. No, he's not. He's going on to game 4. Who's going tomorrow? Ray's going tomorrow, and then Hicks is going to go on Thursday.
I still say it would be nice to trade for a pitcher and a bat, Eric. Take your pick, which.
No, Senior, you're spot on. You're spot on, but I don't see
the
it,
real
man.
Verlander stand
I don't
up.
see that. I don't see it. You look, I hear what you're saying. It's a lot of talk, right? But
I know. I think you're wrong, Eric. I think maybe if he's not producing and getting
he's producing for 5,
well,
that's it.
How many
That's
wins
it.
he got? How many wins he got?
Yeah,
I know
he's
you
got
say
none.
it's not about wins, but if you're not winning, then you're losing. So
he's got what is it? Doesn't he have 4 non-decisions? Right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look at the box score again. And it's there. I think he's 0-1. Sorry. He does have a decision. He has no wins and 1 loss.
I think the loss was that Seattle. Wasn't it the Seattle Mariner game?
It might have been. I can't remember. Or was it the Reds? I don't know. Might have been the Reds game.
I'll check my stat. Eric, I'll get back to you on that. I'll check my stats and get back to you on that.
All right. What do we got here?
Who do we got going
Anonymous,
tomorrow?
yeah.
We got Ray going tomorrow. Eric.
Tomorrow. Oh,
Robbie
and we're
Ray.
going to go against Nola. Nola is their number 2. So
This was
this
the
is
tough
not-
one you were looking
this
at.
is
But
gonna be
Nola's
tough.
0-3.
is he really?
Ray is
Wow.
3-0 against 0-3. So
What's the ERA? What's his ERA?
who, Nola?
Yeah.
5.51.
Oh shit. Okay, Giants. Okay, never mind. Nola's having a tough start.
Robbie Ray 2.93.
Yeah, Robbie Ray's throwing the ball better.
But
Maybe.
you play on the road, these. It's
We'll see
like
if the wind's blowing.
I told you. I don't know if you read my text. I still say that things are gonna, as time goes by, I think things are gonna balance out for us. I don't think, Eric, this is not a 12-4 ball club.
It is a 12-4 block club. They're 12-4.
I
What are you
don't
talking
think-
about, man?
I
Come
don't
on,
think
what are you
this is
doing? This
Really,
isn't
a 12-4.
what they
That's like
are.
That's like, I got to take a shot at my buddy Christian. We had Christian on the show last night. Christian was doing a show today on another channel, and he said, the Giants are going to keep the Giants are what we see. They're going to keep this going. And then 3 minutes later, he goes, there's no way the San Diego Padres keep this going like this. I was, well, what's the difference? I think they're all going to have their moments, and they're all going to be in the
baseball. It's baseball, man. I'm going to tell you something right
race.
now.
You got to take the good with the bad, man.
I said the Padres just because they still got a good team.
Yeah.
With the Giants right now, that the way that they're playing right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing because again, every given day there is a different player stepping up. There is one thing I like about there is a 100% a team effort going on with the San Francisco Giants, and I love it. Or is it 12-5? My bad. It's 12-5. Did I say 12-4? My bad. 12-5. No. Yeah, 12-5. My bad. But
12-5.
they're
I think I said 12-4.
they're playing different type of baseball than they have in the past, and I love it, man. I'm okay with this, man. 100%. Daniel says could have won it. They could have. 100%. There was a chance that the Giants could have gotten the win out of this, but again, because of the conditions on the field, unfortunately, Birdsong left the pitch for Bryce to loft. If it wasn't windy, would it have gone out? Probably not. It might have been wide at the wall.
Oh, I hit that by mistake, but there you go.
Yeah, they both did. They both had good games. Chapman and Jung Hoon had good games today. No doubt about it.
I'm just saying, Eric, that when we come on and do these, the team's not going the next 150 games and not losing a game.
No one's saying that.
We're going to have good days, bad days. We're going to have days when the pitching actually, you could have Webb out there and gives up 8 in the first inning. You don't, like you always say, Eric, it's baseball.
Yeah, it is. You just don't know,
Baseball, you can have a guy with an off day, a team with an off day. You can have bad weather, which we saw in New York, winds today. There's the elements to deal with, Eric. Then you get into maybe guys. Well, hey, you know what's you just thought of this, Eric. Not an injury, no injuries. We've gone unscathed so far. That's a big key to success. You got to agree.
Yeah.
Not
telling you.
not just to start the year. That's gonna be a key to success the entire season.
I'm telling you, right now they got something going. And
No
I like
injuries. No injuries. Like I said to you
That's
earlier,
huge.
when we had Chris, or right after Chris, I said, Eric, I was during the interview. I said, we're not playing games with the roster, Eric. No roster moves. I'm scrolling today on the laptop. I'm like, when was the last time this team made a roster move?
Right. Isn't that something? It's kind of refreshing. You're rolling with what you have. I love it. This is what you do, man.
And I really like
them
sneaking those guys in. Matos.
Mm-hmm. And hey, Schmidt
at first.
Schmidt, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Schmidt is playing a hell of a first base. He is playing a hell of a first base.
Yep.
And then
like
Matos
I said
is
to
up there
Chris,
in right field, man.
He's blocked. The guy's blocked. What do you do?
Yeah.
But for now, we get Lamont Wade Jr. batting 100. I'm not. I don't care. I don't care righty lefty.
Hey, how many guys are batting 100 now in the lineup?
I'm funny. Funny you should ask that, Eric. Let me just pull that up.
Today's lineup. Take a look.
Today's lineup.
How many people hitting 100?
1.
Yep. Bailey. See?
Okay, so you don't want me to include the over-unders like Chapman's 203 and Adama's 206?
Hey, when you kept saying over the last few days, we got 4 guys who are batting 100. That's the thing.
That can
you have
change
a couple of
very
games.
quick though, Eric.
Look at hey, look at Fitzgerald. What is he batting right now?
Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
283.
3 days ago, it was 183. You see what I'm saying? In this time of the year, everything fluctuates. You got to get like a couple of months in before batting average start to kind of stay where they're at.
Right. It's baseball. Even
baseball.
Even Wilmer Flores.
Baseball.
Base once in a while.
Damn it, it's baseball.
I thought of you all tonight when I.
You know what I should have done? I should have asked Chris. Chris, what do you think about this prospect?
Oh my God! Oh my! He didn't even hit the ball. He hit the tee. He went out. Oh my God! Jesus!
I love I took a deep dive into the back. I love the reaction from mom and dad. Just that's our kid.
Yeah, that's my boy. He's like, if you have suspenders, that's my boy.
Proud mom, and I saw a senior with a little smile after the first one. He's like, there you go. There you go. She put on a clinic, my son.
Absolutely. Wait, senior. Yeah. He's famous. There he is, senior softball games in the crowd during the filming of Insane in the Membrane.
Back when he was young and a nobody, and now, Eric, look at him. Look at him now.
Yeah, look at him now. Again,
hey, Dean brings up a good statistical. He's their stats 1/10 of the way through the season, Eric.
There you go.
It's flying.
Hey, Anonymous. Hey, thanks for coming in for a little bit. I appreciate that, my friend. Enjoy your game again tomorrow, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for enlightening us. Have a good rest of your night, man.
I've got the official. Look at that. The official. Nothing like it, Eric. I think they just.
It's official.
That's the official schedule. And
that's not a knockoff. Are you sure?
Open. Dude. We're in Philly now. Then we got the Angels. Then we got Milwaukee at home. Then we got Texas at home. Dude, we got one off day.
The 28th.
28th, man.
I know.
A lot of
baseball. That's why I wasn't so critical about what Bob Melvin did in New York, because he's got a long way to go before there's a day off.
And look at the month of May. May 1st, we play at home against Colorado.
That's
the following Thursday, we're off. The next Thursday, we're off. The next Thursday, we're off. And guess what? The next Thursday, we're taking it off. We got 4 Thursdays off in a row.
That's huge.
Can you see it there? Where's the schedule? There it is.
Wow. The whole month of May. Man, what's up, Gus?
8, 15, 22, and 29. A lot of nice home games in there, though. Look at that 4-gamer against Colorado and the Athletics.
That Colorado, you got it. In that Colorado, you at a minimum 3 of 1. 3 of 1. Minimum 3 of 1. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
3 of 1. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I
You're just, Eric, you're giddy. You're giddy, man.
Absolutely, dude. They're playing good baseball. So that's all I can ask. Was
Are
there
you like me?
a
Are you like me what I said on the show the other day? I said to you on the show the other day, and that's how I feel. You and I wrap up. Tomorrow morning, we'll do the morning show at 8 a.m., and I'm all ready for first pitch. Dude, I haven't felt like this in seasons. I'm like, yeah, game tonight. Now I can't wait for baseball every day, Eric.
I know, man. It's awesome.
It's bitten me in the ass, man. Cubs in San Diego. 7th inning, 1-1. Dodgers 5-2 in the 5th over Colorado.
Oh, they got 2 runs. Nice on them. Yeah. All right. I think we're good, man. Let's shut it down and enjoy the rest of the night.
Spectacular start to the show. Want to again thank Chris. He dropped by. What a great
Chris Welsh. Yeah. Hey, guys. For those of you who came in a little bit late, Chris Welsh joined the show from Fantasy Pros. Go check out his information in the description down below. Once the stream is done, you could go in there. Heck, you can even go and see it now. It's in the description. All his links to his Twitter and his different podcasts that he does with Fantasy Pros and his own stuff. So again, it was awesome content. Go check him out, guys.
Yeah, isn't it though, Dean?
Yep.
Yeah, and Brian got hurt, isn't he? Hurt? He's out. His career's
His
over.
back.
His
back is
done.
just shot, dude. His back
Okay, good night, Chardall. Eric, it's been a great show again. Giant Sports Talk Live. It's brought to you by Lefties, Duxwell Printing, Genesis Gold, IRA.com, Signatures for Soldiers. Where do you get your credit card?
Yeah, bettercreditcards.com.
Take us on out of here. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8.
Hey, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be back here tomorrow for Game 3 postgame. Woo! Let's go. Come on, Ray.
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.